National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. That's right. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Hey, hey, that's right. So this day, I am sure you have some kids who are like, yes, I can have peanut butter and jelly for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You could, because this is a day of celebration, and I would be totally okay with that. But the number one thing that we want to do today is just show you how fun it is. This is one of these recipes that's going to be super easy peasy lemon squeezy, and you're probably going to want to do this with your kids. You are not going to need any utensils other than cookie cutters, spoons, and butter knives. So let's get started. There is always some controversy between what type of peanut butter do we like. Do you like smooth? Do you like crunchy? What type of jelly do you prefer? Do you prefer Chestnut Hill? Do you prefer Smuckers? Do you prefer Welch's? But whatever your preference is, this peanut butter and jelly recipe is going to be the one that your kids will love, and it will be one that you can use over and over and over again. If you have noticed with Good Time Gal, the number one basis of this is so that we are able to cook equitable, affordable, and with fun. The tools that we're going to be using today: butter knife, spoon, and all of these lovely cooking cutters that we got from the sugar cookies, right? Cookie cutters are wonderful for hors d'oeuvres, tea sandwiches as well. And you can have a little more control, right? So these are always fun. I also have a bell. You know, I have the Christmas ones, Santa, the trees, but I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use my circle and my heart. I prefer... This is my favorite. It's so good. And a lot of you are going to think I'm weird, but I usually just eat spoonfuls. I always get caught. I always get caught eating peanut butter in the middle of the night. So I'm going to be using some white bread. I'm also going to be using some honey wheat. And the reason that I'm switching it up is because kids are like that. They give your kid variety, so that way they can have the decision, right? You want your kids to always have autonomy. You want them to be able to develop their autonomy, and being able to make these decisions is helping them develop their autonomy. And this is so easy. You're going to go, what? And I'm going to go, yep. And you're going to go, what? And I'm going to go, yep. So I'm going to do 2. We are getting in those parts. So we're just having a good time on Easter. This is my wheat bread. And the thing I like to do with peanut butter, especially crunchy peanut butter, is just kind of stir it around to make sure that it's not hard, because when we get to the bottom of the peanut butter, it can be a little difficult, right? You don't want that. If it's too difficult, it will compromise your bread. You don't want that. I'm actually going to move this over because this is going to be the center, right? You always want to gauge it. So some of it is going to be grape and some of it is going to be strawberry, because I want to give variety, right? So now I'm just putting it in the middle. Some of us get very particular about how we like our peanut butter and jelly, right? We want a even layer of peanut butter. You want an even layer of jelly. Some people don't even like this. You see where the peanut butter and the jelly touched on the knife? Yeah, it could cause a war. This is actually how the Trojan War started. It wasn't because of Helena of Troy's beauty. It was because someone put breadcrumbs in the butter and put some peanut butter and jelly on the same knife. Come on, guys. All right, so I want to make sure that it's sealed. So I'm going to just gently press around. This is a different PB&J, right? And then I'm going to take the cookie cutter. I'm going to gently break free. And this is our first peanut butter and jelly. So I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to do the heart on this one. And I want to do this first. I'm going to try to do this first just to get my little shapes together. Super cute. And again, this is about your control, right? What you deem is how you want to control it. So I'm just putting a dollop here. And I've got some excess jelly. Remember, I'm different. I don't like to waste, right? And then I'm gonna put the heart together. And before you start writing me saying, "Good time, gal, this is one of the messiest things we've ever done," it's okay. It's okay for your kids to be messy, right? Because that's what this is about. Let's see that. No, not yet. Not yet. So now I'm gonna keep going. But this time I'm gonna use strawberry. With this, I'm just doing a nice little light. See that? Very light. And now I'm gonna do the same with the peanut butter. So this is about making sure our ratio, right? We talked about the ratio. So let's make sure our ratio is our ratio. Perfect. I'm noticing that I can work a lot easier with the strawberry jelly than the grape jelly. So always notice your jellies. See how this is just smoothly going? I don't have to work super hard. Yeah, they're getting better. That's what I want. So yes, and then they already have those serrated edges. I'm gonna go a step further. I'm gonna put these in the toaster, just a little bit. let's keep going. As thin as possible, right? I want it as thin as possible. And then I'm going to just put the rest on here. Thin as possible. Thin as possible. Then I'm going to peanut butter. Remember we talked about mixing it, making sure that it blends well. And then do it again. And I know some of you are like, well, why not just put the bread and the jelly and be happy? They're kids, they're not gonna notice. And I think that's the number one point of this, is that kids notice. If we've been watching MasterChef Junior or any of these cooking competitions, kids notice. And no matter who you are, you want to have fun with your food, right? You want to have good time with your food. You want to feel like this was made specifically for me. That's why we're doing it, right? That was one thing I can say about my mom and my dad. They were very good about introducing me to food, and they were also really good about introducing me to adult situations in a positive way so that I could learn. And this is what this does. When you feed your children in different ways, even if it's the same thing, but you present it in a different way, you are giving them a different perspective on how to look at certain things, right? And that's what Good Time Gal is about. We are about, perfect, we're about changing perspectives about how we see food and how we come together as a community. We've got one more to do. And then I'm going to be okay. These, I like these, but I want you to see what happened with this. The white bread is not a good bread consistency. It's not a very good bread grade. So when I put the jelly in, it immediately broke. And that's how we balance our peanut butter and jelly. And the same with the heart. When I tried to press the forks, no. So we redo. You don't see me stressing. You don't stress, you regroup, and you keep going, right? Because that's what cooking is about. You don't ever stress. You stressing about this and these kids gonna eat these. Shh, they don't know that. If anything, let it be more, right? I'm gonna do this as a jelly heart. I think that's probably why my victory is so much sweeter sometimes, is when I make a mistake, I can go, you know what, I made a mistake, but I'm learning from that mistake. And I hope we can all do that. Whenever we make a mistake, we just go, you know what, I'm learning from that mistake, and we move on. Because that's what it's about. Life is full of mistakes. And I always like to tell people there is no right or wrong, right? It's the decision that you made and those consequences of that decision. So if you decided to pick the wrong white bread and it didn't go, I don't want you freaking out like, oh my God, it didn't do it, I'm lost. It happens sometimes. If you notice, I use the jelly. So I've got to go very gentle. Yes, I would say the jelly, the grape jelly, it's a little bit different than the strawberry jelly. And that could have to do with the sugar intake. I'm gonna wipe off my knife. And then we just use it. Ta-da! Perfect. All right, as I told you before, so this is what they look like. I'm going to toast these in the toaster for just a little bit. I just want to get them a nice golden brown color. And then that'll be it. So I'll see you when they're done. That is all the time we have. Happy National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, everybody. Go out there, make those sandwiches, make those peanut butter and jelly tea cakes. Just live your best peanut butter and jelly life, because that's what today's all about. If you've enjoyed this recipe, please feel free to go to my blog, goodtimegal.com. If you want to learn how to cook even more with even better recipes, please feel free to check on my channel description and click on those lovely links. If you have enjoyed all of my videos, all of my blog posts, I think it's time for you to go ahead and get my Good Time Gal cookbook, which is a cookbook for all occasions. Once again, thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and have a blessed day.